Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and in this video we will be discussing about how a house hunt is in US, and what all factors you should look for your house hunt when you are looking out for any type of housing here in US. So basically there are a couple of factors which needs to be considered while you are doing your house hunt. So the very most important factor is the location. So I would say you should go for something which is like up to 3 miles from the university, and the I mean 3 miles is not walkable, but still it's nearby if you have good commute system. Like for me here, I stay like within 3 miles from the university, but I do get university shuttle, and the frequency is really good. So for me it's not an issue to travel from my apartment to university. But if your city, your university, there is no commute system, then prefer staying walkable, which is like up to 1 mile to 2 miles. I mean based on like what you can prefer to walk. So always look for the location, and once your area and location is shortlisted, try to look out for the properties listed in that particular area, so that your filter criteria is already reduced. The another most important factor which I have covered in my first point also is like commute, कि आपको कैसे commute करना है, आपके पास mode of transport क्या है आपके city में, आपकी university की location के हिसाब से, या आपकी university से क्या क्या facilities provided है. What you can always do is, like, if you're not able to find out over their website, or through the ISA groups, ISAs, Indian Association groups, or student organizations. So you can always drop an email to the your advisors, or the administration department, and if that's not the right point of contact, they can always divert you to the right source or the right point of contact in that case. So I mean you can always do your research and filter criteria before you book for any housing, क्योंकि यहाँ पे when you're doing any housing, you sign a lease. So lease is like very particular, you cannot easily break the lease, or उसमें भी monetary losses होंगे if you're breaking the lease, you're transferring the lease. So all those factors are involved. So before that you must like be very sure about the property before paying any sort of deposit, or booking amount from the India. So we spoke about the location, then the commute, and then the third most important the factor is about all like what type of housing it is, and is it like private housing, or university affiliated housing, or the student living. So always do a good research about it before paying out any money to the owners or the management of the society, because you are not present physically and you are doing it virtually. So always be aware of the scam. So before making the huge payment or deposit amount, I mean just don't be in hurry, or don't be scared. You go with a pace, like just don't rush up with the all the hassle. So don't do that. Like keep like ample amount of time for house hunting, and like just don't do it a week before your travel, because you'll be always in worry and stress, and a lot of other things will be there. So don't do it. So take two options: either if you're doing from the India, just do your research properly, and if you're coming here and doing it, that's also good, but always do your research like in India. And once you land here, keep a week or 2 week time to do your hunt. Take a temporary housing till then, or Airbnb is also good option. I can make some video about how to use Airbnb services and book and look for the housing, and how to apply for offers, how to check for the good deals and all that stuff. So I don't want to put that in this video, because I don't want to make it longer. And so these are the few the most important factors which you have to look. Apart from this, then you always look for the pricing part. So how do you decide on the pricing part? So always like shortlist few areas which is in the neighborhood of the university, and when you just compare the price. If you see few properties which is really cheaper than the average pricing, just don't go for them, because cheapest or the cheaper ones are always not the good options. It can be a trap, or maybe those properties are not that good. So all those factors are there, so don't just fall for those options just blindly. Always look for the average pricing. So trust me, here the pricings are really mashed up. It's not like that one price is like really higher and one price is like really don't. Same as in India also, right? There will be certain areas which will have certain pricing fixed. So if you find something really cheap in that locality, there has to be some loophole in that, right? So same is here, like you cannot just fall for the cheapest option. Always look for the average price in that neighborhood, and if it is like slightly less or slightly more, it's fine. But if it's like a marginal difference, तो फिर वो एक doubtful factor hai, and you should not fall for it. So this is like cheap ones are not always the best option. So always like be sure before you pay any amount. Also when you're paying the deposit, so a lot of properties ask for the deposit amount. Like let's say even I booked my housing from India itself, so even I was asked for paying the deposit, because I do not have any credit history or guarantor. So that's perfectly fine, that's perfectly okay. But before you make the deposit, because I was going through the student housing, and it's a very, like broader community, they have a chain and all that. So I was pretty much okay ki is I'm not paying to one individual, it is going to a firm, and it is also listed on my university website. So a genuine source hai, and all those things happened. Also I asked like few of my friends who were already here before me to go there physically and check out the property and the locality and all those stuff. So they verified and they confirmed, and after that I paid deposit. So what I'm trying to say is, like, before you make any sort of payment or any sort of deposit, house deposit, just make sure you're not doing it blindly. On an average here in US, they'll have 2 months of rent deposit to be paid generally. So that's the average thing. Then certain community, like, because it's a community living, so I had an application fee as well, and then once the deposit was paid, I was given a lease. I signed the lease electronically, and then I submitted the lease, and all those things happened, and then there was a process basically. तो आप भी किसी पे भी, अगर आप प्राइवेट प्रॉपर्टी के लिए जा रहे हो, प्राइवेट ओनर के लिए जा रहे हो, वेयर इज एन इंडिविजुअल ओनर, सो जस्ट डोंट blindly give away the deposit amount. Always try to if you know somebody out here or from the student organization, just reach out to them, cross verify that उस तरीके का कुछ प्रॉपर्टी या ओनर एग्जिस्ट करता है. आप जस्ट सोशल मीडिया के थ्रू अगर आप कॉन्टैक्ट में आए हो एंड देन यू आर जस्ट गिविंग अवे ट्रांसफरिंग द मनी, don't do that. I wouldn't suggest that. So always be sure before you transfer any sort of money. And then अगर आप rent check कर रहे हो, तो it's not only the rent you pay, there will be other charges on top of it as well. कि आपके utility bill होंगे, तो आपके different community के different चार्जेस होते हैं. तो ऑलवेज कंसिडर ऑल दी चार्जेस बेस्ड ऑन योर मंथली एक्सपेंसेस. सिर्फ बेस पे रेंट पे नहीं कंसिडर करना है, बिकॉज समटाइम्स रेंट में कुछ चार्जेस इंक्लूडेड होते हैं, और समटाइम्स इट्स नॉट जस्ट द रेंट एंड देन ऑल दी अदर चार्जेस विल बी ऑन टॉप ऑफ द रेंट. तो आप सारे फैक्टर्स कंसिडर करके ही अपने प्रॉपर्टी को फाइनलाइज करिए. और ऑल्सो आप जो नेबरहुड एरिया है उससे आपके बेसिक फैसिलिटीज़ के लिए क्या ट्रांसपोर्टेशन है और क्या फैसिलिटीज़ अवेलेबल हैं, वो भी आप चेक करिए. आई थिंक ये वीडियो आपको हेल्पफुल लगा होगा, और थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग.